Moving on, I'm sure all of us are keen to know how companies are harnessing the power of data and AI. And there's no better man than Mr. Donald MacDonald, Head of Group Data Office at OCBC, to share their journey in scaling generative AI and the valuable insights gained. Donald, please.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, first up, great to see so many people in the audience today. Over 1,000 people I heard attended, which is absolutely fantastic. My name is Donald MacDonald. I'm the head of Group Data Office at OCBC, and I'm here today to share on how OCBC scales generative AI across our organization. And for those of you that don't know us, Group Data Office is the Center of Excellence for Advanced Analytics in OCBC. And so I have two main responsibilities. I own the data strategy and OCBC's data platforms, but the majority of my time is actually spent working with all the different business units trying to say, how do we drive value from OCBC's data for the rest of the organization? My team is not a new team. We've actually existed for about 25 years, but in the last 5 years, we've been on a very kind of rapid transformation journey, uplifting our AI and our data science capabilities. If you go back 5 years in OCBC, we had 0 machine learning models running in production. And today, OCBC has about 270 machine learning models in production. We're recognized as a leader in the use of AI globally, and we're one of the few organizations in the world to have deployed generative AI at scale. Today, we have more than 15 generative AI applications running in production. I'm going to share some of those with you in today's session. So, as I said, the main role of my job is to work with the business to drive value from OCBC's considerable data assets. And in the past, that was really about the use of traditional AI, or analytical AI as we call it, which is AI which is focused more on the kind of left hemisphere of the brain. It's about using AI for rational decision making. You know, predicting which of our customers are going to buy a unit trust this month, who's going to refinance their home loan, who's going to make a complaint. That's been the bread and butter of my team for the last 5 years. But obviously, in the last 18 months, we've seen generative AI rise up. And generative AI now is another tool that we can use to generate value for the business. And we see generative AI really focused on the right hemisphere of the brain. It's about using AI to do creative tasks, which is something in the past that AI really struggled to do. But even though a lot of the hype and the sexiness today is all about generative AI, if you look at the work that my team is doing, probably 80% of the effort is still built on traditional AI. Because in banking, a lot of the use cases we have, we need that certainty when we're making predictions. And so traditional AI is still very, very important for us. So OCBC today uses AI across all aspects of our business. On any given day, there's about 4 million decisions we make which touch our customers driven by AI. We use it for things like generating revenues, hyper-personalization to our customers, helping customers make better investment decisions. We use it to lower costs and improve productivity in OCBC, looking at processes. And then we also use it to reduce risk, either protecting the bank or protecting our customers. Now let me bring that to life with some examples. So some of the areas where we apply traditional AI today would include things like hyper-personalization. So when you interact with OCBC, regardless of channel, we want you to have a good experience. And so we personalize that experience based on your profile and based on your recent interactions. If you go into the OCBC mobile banking application, for example, there are multiple areas that we personalize for every customer. We personalize the cross-sell banner at the top of the screen. We personalize your credit card deals. We personalize the investment research articles that are shown to you. We even personalize actionable nudges, helping each customer save time and save money. As well as that, we also use AI to help our customers make better investment decisions. So we use large language models to read the news, to read analyst reports, to read company fundamentals, and every day make intelligent stock recommendations to our customers, backed up with AI-generated narratives saying, why are we recommending those stocks to you? As well as helping customers make better investment decisions, we also help OCBC itself make better decisions. So we actually embed AI into processes like our FX currency hedging, trying to figure out for OCBC when's the optimal time that we should be putting trades into the market. AI is also used to improve productivity and lower cost. And one area we do that is in the contact center. We make very heavy use of things like conversational AI and chatbots Today, over 150,000 customer inquiries are handled every month by our bots. That's 1 in 3 of every customer service inquiries that comes to the bank. Finally, we use AI for protecting the bank. So we use it for things like financial crime, know your customer processes, anti-money laundering. Today, more than 70% of the KYC alerts and 40% of the AML alerts in OCBC are automatically resolved by the machine without a human ever being involved. And that frees up a lot of productivity across the organization. And then final one, scams. In Singapore, scams is obviously a very, very hot topic. And in OCBC, we've spent a lot of time in the last 18 months focusing on scams. So today, we have machine learning models which predict which of our customers is likely to get scammed, and which scam do we think they're going to fall for. Is it a job scam, an investment scam, a love scam? The machine can tell these things, and we use that to do personalized education to our customers, telling them what to watch out for. We also embed real-time models into our payment systems. So every time you're doing a pay now transaction, for example, we scan those transactions in less than 20 milliseconds to determine, do we think that's a scam? And if we do, we then try and block that transaction before the money ever leaves OCBC in the first place. And because of these kind of capabilities, OCBC now has the lowest scam rates in the market. So even though traditional AI is still very heavily used in OCBC and it generates a lot of value for the business, whenever I come to events like this, all anyone wants to talk about is generative AI, because generative AI is the hot new kid on the block. And at OCBC, I think we've been very open, saying that we are going big on generative AI. And we went big on generative AI very, very early. And we did that because we see generative AI as being truly transformational. And I say that for a number of reasons. The first reason is, in the past, when I used to work with a business, every time the business had a problem, I would build them a model. So every problem statement required a lot of effort. I'd have to build a data pipeline and then a model to solve that problem. But with generative AI, one model can handle very many tasks. So if you want to generate code, you want to document code, you want to debug code, instead of building 3 models, today with generative AI, it's 1 model, and it can do all of those at the same time. Generative AI is also very good at what we call zero-shot learning. So the ability to solve a problem without being specifically trained how to do it. And so those 2 capabilities give me great speed to market. We can build solutions for the business now much faster using generative AI than we could do with traditional AI, because we're not doing so much kind of bespoke model creation. But I think the greatest benefit of generative AI has actually been the whole democratization of AI. You know, in the past, when I met the business and they told me their problem statement, I would say, okay, I'll build you a model to solve that. And you could see the business would gloss over. Whenever you mentioned a model, they didn't have a clue what you were talking about. Only the data scientists really knew what was behind the scenes in a model. But today, with generative AI, everyone is able to interact with AI, because you can go into ChatGPT and you can type in your question. So I find the business now has a much greater understanding of how AI works behind the scenes, but also the kind of value that it can bring. And so the questions and projects I get from the business are much, much sharper as a result. So I think that whole aha moment that the business has had with generative AI has actually been the greatest benefit of the Gen AI boom.